I would say dating in this, context, the context that we're in now, it is slightly different, obviously, from previous context, but I still think the principles should remain. I think intentionality is key. Our pastor at the tab says something like this: dating is about collecting data, right? So in your dating phase, you're trying to figure out if this person is worth developing into a relationship, rather than a lot of people have the concept of, oh, date to marry. Like, you don't have enough time in dating to know immediately, am I going to marry this person? You should be asking yourself the question, in terms of values, in terms of things that are important to me, in terms of deal breakers, in terms of things that are important for a relationship, are we aligning? Then in the relationship phase, you'll determine, are we aligning enough to now for me to risk my life? Because when it comes to marriage, you are risking your life, you're risking your destiny, you're risking your purpose. So in the dating stage, please make sure you are forensically analyzing the other individual, almost to make your decision less of a risk, right? So it's going to be a risk anyway, but it's a calculated risk. So you going and saying, okay, cool, I'm going to ask questions about this person. I'm going to see them in different environments. I'm going to see what they're like with their friends and family. I'm going to see what they're like in terms of, do I give them enough time to hear what I've said that's constructive and actually put it into practice? Or am I waiting for the next day? Oh, you haven't done it yet, so that's a red flag. And then also within that, it's looking at yourself. Am I ready to be in a relationship? Because often in this generation, we run into relationships and then we run out of them. I think we need to be slower into getting into relationships, because a principle that we also practice is we're practicing divorce very quickly, because you're living like you're married when you've been on 2 dates. And then when it now doesn't work, this is the key. Dating that doesn't work, the only thing you should be left with is somebody that could just be a friend. What we're actually getting is dating that doesn't work is, I can't look at that person ever again. Anything, I can't even go to Marble Arch because it reminds me of when we first kissed. All of these different things that you can't do because you dive so deep into something that basically bound you in marriage. Let's make it real. Some of us are sleeping with each other on the first night. So you're spiritually binding yourselves together in a stage where you're actually just supposed to be information gathering. You're supposed to be doing market research. That's it. When these people are going outside and they're doing market research, they're not jumping into nobody else's bed. They're just like, okay, sir, can I just get your name and your email address so you can answer some questions for me? That's what we should be doing on dates.
Wow. Wow. So two follow-up questions to anyone, and then I'm gonna go to Isaiah. So if dating is information gathering, can you date more than one person at one time? No, hold on. Sorry. Listen, I'm here to ask the questions
I'm
that
just collecting data.
people
Come
are
on.
nervous about. Like, information, you can gather 30 informations. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a very, very anyway,
Sure. Yeah,
great computer. And the second question is, um, there are people who have an itemized list for what their person should look like. Is it necessary?
I'll answer the first bit and I'll leave the second bit for somebody else.
Good
Um,
luck. Plus, is there no good questions that much?
it's a great question.
Eh.
So in terms of information gathering, I think it just piggybacks off of what I was closing with, which is the fact that you can't marry more than one person at a time, but you can date more than one person at a time, because dating is not commitment.
Woof. Glory be to God. David, that was your answer, bro. David. Yep,
So,
David.
so, and I think this is the issue, right? We live in a generation that is almost like PhD level at conflating terms, right? Dating, right? You went on a date with somebody. What level of commitment does that give you to them? The fact that you went for coffee with someone.
Are you saying like dating multiple people at the same time, right?
No,
Like,
but
or you're just saying a date? Like
it's not
this
me.
date.
It's David. Please,
So,
it's David.
Sorry, David. Are you saying
I'm asking
wherever
for
David is?
David. David is over there. David asked me the question to be asking
Okay,
you.
okay.
Yeah,
So I'm saying, okay, so you define dating as information gathering.
yeah.
So my thing is, if you are information gathering, can you be gathering more than one
Of
information
course you can.
from different agencies?
I think you can, and I think this is where we, like I said, we need to make sure we're not conflating terms.
Okay, so he needs to define. So he's gonna redefine. David, I hope you're listening. David, I hope
So
you're
yeah,
listening.
brother David at the back, this is for you. Dating is not a relationship, right? Dating is not exclusivity, right? I took someone to a coffee shop. That doesn't mean I can't go and take another girl to the coffee shop in 2 weeks' time, right? No, no, no. Can we be honest?
It's
Because-
getting tricky now. The ladies
because-
are like, "What do you mean, though?
No, but again,
What? That's my favorite coffee shop, though.
but
What do you mean, though?"
let's make this clear.
said no.
Let's make this clear. You want to know why? You want to know why? I'm wrong. No, okay. No, no, no. Okay. Let's make this clear then, okay?
That's too much coffee.
All right. So you go coughing with one,
you're a
bowling
smart
with the
boy.
other. I think this is the issue, right? Is that when there is no clear definition of what we're doing, Miles Monroe says it like this: where there's no definition, purpose is abused, basically. Yeah. So where there's no purpose, there's room for abuse. So if I'm going out, for example, my wife is over there. Let's shout out my wife. All right. So our generation loves a talking stage, right? And in the talking stage, you're basically in a relationship, but it's not exclusive, but it is exclusive. So when you lot are thinking about dating, you're probably thinking about that, which therefore means because of the emotional investment that both of you are putting in, you shouldn't be doing this with more than one person. But if you're gathering data and saying, look, I'm just trying to find out if this could be a relationship, then why could you not do that with more than one person? Now, the question that we should really be asking is, how do we date? How do we, as the congregation, how are you lot dating? Are you dating like you're already in a relationship? Which psychologically means exclusivity, but it's almost unsaid exclusivity. Or are we making it clear? Look, I'd love to just take you out for a coffee, get to know you a little bit more. So if we're saying you can't do that, then you have to marry her. No, let's be honest.
100%. That is a fact.
So that's what I'm saying. There needs
So-
to be clear definition and clear purpose
Can
of what we're saying.
Can I go to Mr. Coffee Man quickly? I'm gonna break the plan. Can you stand up so everyone can see you, please? Thank you very much. So he's defined what he means by dating, right? Did you have a different definition for dating? Is that why you said he's wrong in what you're saying? Can you start off with your name and then so everyone knows that you're David?
Hey guy, my name's Timothy. To be fair, what he's saying is there's some truth to it. I just feel like when you're in the front and you're answering the question, you have to be very clear because people can misconstrue and misunderstand what you think, and then that's how people get hurt. You're taking multiple girls to coffee, then other girls are like, "But he just took me out." Then there's division in the church. Then girls are arguing over you just because you didn't establish clarity before you went out to get that coffee. So my main thing is, I understand you're trying to detail what dating is. I would just say it's better, or it's more wise for you to say you can be friends with that person and you can discern them through their character, through their values before, as a friend, maybe in social settings, before you take them to private one-on-one places, because you could end up leading in someone where they don't need to go.
Sir, can I ask you a question? Now, I'm not.
It's why Shady. What you said, Mona?
Lord, that's one of my nephews. So my question for you, now I find you. So the question to you then is, can you tell me what the guidelines the Bible gives for dating?
The Bible doesn't talk about boyfriend and girlfriend,
That's where we start our problems.
Yeah. I'm not here to talk. They're doing amazing stuff. The main things I would say is, let's be very clear. Don't be taking anyone to coffee shop if you haven't established your intentions, because you don't want to lead anyone on to the wrong place. You can do all these things as friends and social settings, and then you'll find the one you love in Jesus' name. Amen.
Can I jump in before you?
Yeah. Oh, yes, of course. Go for it.
Clarity is really important. Saying we're together.
I'm in pursuit of you. I'm for you. We're exclusive. And that whole dating period can get a little messy because you're having to open yourself up to something. And by you taking people to coffees and getting to know them in like what you call like a friend saying, it's like opening up people's hearts, I'd say still. And so even in my head, when I call it a date, that's like a level of commitment. That's a level of intention. This is just where I'm coming from. And so I agree that actually friendship, barbecues, church events is a great way to get to know someone, to then, in pursuit, step into a coffee.
So,
So-
are we saying coffee is a bad thing? Is that what we're saying?
Coffee is not a bad thing, but I think more than anything, you've just got to show a real pursuit after, for me, like after a woman. Like
So,
if I'm going to open up their heart to the dream of potential relationship, I want to create safety for them. I want to create like a level of safety, even if it's not exclusivity commitment. I want there to be a little bit of exclusivity. You're safe here to explore what it could be like in a relationship.
so can
I
I,
think-
forgive me? Let me just
Go
jump in here. The interesting thing with all this is where I come from in the year of the dinosaur. It's important that the ground rules are clear, and for us as Christians, those of us who are Christians, those of you, if you're not, you're outside of this. The Bible has to be the boundary within which we decide what's. Let the peace of God be your umpire, the book says. So if you're not clear what the Bible has to say, where is the purpose, where is the purity, where is the wisdom about this thing, what you will then do is take what culture dictates to you as to what you're doing, whether it's the definition, because the reality is actually great for us sitting here in this panel, culturally, what is dating is slightly different from a Caribbean setting to an African setting to a English setting to an Asian setting. So then it becomes culture that's gathering, and then it gets techie, as you young people say. My question, and the one thing I want to leave you with after tonight, after all said and done, be clear in your mind. What does the Bible have to say about this? Whether it's a wedding, whether it's money, whether it's what does if you do not know what the Bible has to say, you're in problems. So you can discuss what he says, what terms, whatever. Stop first. What does the Bible have to say? Now, interesting thing that Wise Hady said, the Bible is not explicit about dating. So what guidelines do we have? So then we have to go to 1 Thessalonians 4. Because it's easy to it's easy to talk, and he will give you great examples from his cultural reference. She will give you great examples. What does the Bible tell you about what you're about to do? If you do not know, don't move until you know what the word says.